Hey yo, I'm here. I'm back. What's up? Testing out. Gonna watch some videos about Dark Souls. While I was on break, I saw that Dark Souls is on sale for $19.99. So I'm gonna watch some videos, see if it's worth getting. Come react with me.
We're here with another
Yo,
episode of Before You
what's
Buy.
up, cool
You know
engineer?
that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing? Well, today we're talking about Dark Souls Remastered. This one is definitely going to be more on the first impression side because it is just
Reacting.
a remaster, but it is the game that...
This is a video from Gamer Ranks. Dark Souls Remastered, Before You Buy. Simply one of the best games ever. Really. But is it a stream game that I would go crazy for? But that's a ringing endorsement. So yeah, I will make it a fundraiser. There we go. It's good to have goals in life. Okay. Simply one of the best games ever is a pretty high mark. And I might be able to run it on my laptop, so let's see.
started it all. Well, I mean,
Shout out to
sort of
Gamer Ranks.
technically Demon Souls started it all, but here we are. This is the original 2011 Dark Souls game, lovingly remastered. I'll say that. To me, it really seems like a lot of care was put into
What
not
console
messing
did this
things
come
up,
out for?
Unfortunately, maybe to some,
I think it
not
was a PlayStation
changing
game,
much
right?
at all, save for a
It
few
was a
little
console
things
game.
here and there. The mentality seemed to be, if it ain't broke, don't even touch it. And I'm kind of good with that. Because first things first, on console, it's running 60 FPS. That is something a lot of folks have been wanting, so it's finally nice to just have it implemented right here. It's always a nice thing to have on console games, especially a game like Dark Souls where every single frame matters. Now, I've been playing the PS4 version. The PC, which is pretty much just the prepare to die version, does look like it's having some issues according to Steam reviews, from like cheating issues lingering still to just the game not running for some.
Okay,
It looks
so
like
this
it
is
needs
the
some
style of the
updates,
game.
but
We
I
see it
can't
right
confirm that.
So it's a third-person action-adventure game. Really, I honest to God don't know anything about Dark Souls other than it's really hard.
I just still think you should keep that in mind.
Oh.
Now, back to what I played on PS4, I do want to point out that this
PS4.
is very much still a game from the PS3 360 era. This isn't a complete overhaul, but you get sharper, nicer textures, stronger lighting, and like I said, a better frame rate.
One of the best games ever. Is a good.
One thing I really especially enjoyed was the ability in the options menu to scale the HUD and menus however you'd like. That's a nice touch, especially if you plan on sitting a bit further away on a couch. Now, visually, it looks fine. At times, it looks noticeably better, and at other times, it doesn't. Some textures just still don't totally look that hot, especially in the boss work. Some look totally amazing and are more clear and realized, and some just kind of look the same. But overall, I'll still say it's still a much appreciated, fresh visual
you have like an
update for
inventory
modern consoles. So if that's what you're looking for, that's at least what you're going to get bare minimum. In some aspects, I think the game shows its age, and that's just mostly in terms of the level design. It's not a big deal. A lot of the stuff just feels a bit smaller, more quaint, and less twisty-turny, while also epic and gorgeous and crazy like the more recent Soulsborne games. These games still have top-notch level design, mind you. I'm just saying that you can tell it's one of the earlier entries. And in terms of the fixes I alluded to earlier, yeah, they fixed the notoriously sluggish Blighttown. It's far more optimized, and the frame rate doesn't suck, so now you'll still probably hate it, but at least for better reasons,
so
I
it's
guess.
like a
They also
dodge
fixed some smaller dupes
game.
and standard glitch stuff while leaving tricks and shortcuts that are kind of exploits, like the early one in Undead Burg, you know? You can also use multiple items at once now, and you can switch covenants at a bonfire. It's all just lots of nice little upgrades and tweaks like this that go the extra mile and make the game better, especially for folks who got into the series later and are just only now playing this one for the first time. That's big. And if you are playing this one for the first time, man, what a game it is. I will say, after a few years of playing these games, it is fun to go into this one with at least a teeny bit of confidence, and knowing how to play and generally what to expect is kind of liberating as someone who's played other games in the series. Now, even still, it still manages to be be pretty freaking rough at times. Obviously, for newcomers, you should know by now that these games are notoriously challenging. However, struggle up that mountain that may seem unfair at first until you reach the plateau and realize that the games require precise mastery, a little luck, and deep knowledge of the environment, enemy attacks, and just the RPG character build systems. And once you finally get going, you will be hooked and love these games, top to bottom. I promise you. I walked away from this series multiple times, but once it finally clicked, it clicked. They are not for everyone, of course, but if you put a little work in, you might find your next favorite series. And with some, this might be the start of it. The original Dark Souls, which is the one where so much stuff took hold in video game culture. The memorable bosses, the dragon, the praise the sun meme. It's all because of this game. It's worth experiencing because there is so much charm, not only in the challenging game design, but also just the strange tone and unsettling and weird atmosphere and bizarre enemy types. While it might at first look like your basic RPG with like a knight and a sword and a shield, you'll soon start to pick up on some of its more Japanese game design quirks and realize it's truly freaking special. Oh, and while I'm at it, this version also comes with the Artorias DLC, which was very well received.
So is it just all boss fights?
That's a nice plus, especially if you're just looking for value. You're going to get a fully fleshed out game here. Along with that, the multiplayer now has dedicated servers, and so far, everything seems good. I hopped in with a colleague, and it was pretty darn smooth. That was the morning of launch, though, so hopefully things still hold up. But hey, that kind of reminds me, this is a bonus too. You kind of get like a re-ignition of the community behind this game. Like it's back in full force. So if you are looking to play with others in a Dark Souls game, now is definitely the time. And that goes for the whole game. If you have PS4 or Xbox One especially, and you haven't played the original Dark Souls, this is definitely the time to do it. But that's Dark Souls, and this is a before you buy. You know how it works. I give you some pros, some cons, some personal opinions, stuff like that. So now I definitely want to hear yours. I'm sure everyone has a very strong opinion about Dark Souls. They probably have strong opinions about this gameplay because everybody judges everybody really hard. But hey, whatever you're thinking about Dark Souls, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. What's your favorite boss from the original Dark Souls? Also, while we're at it, what's your favorite of the Dark Souls games? Because it seems like everybody has different tastes in them. And I will say, if you are feeling chatty, consider going over to discord.gg/GameRanks. That's our official Discord. We linked it in the description below. There's a bunch of different channels there to talk up stuff like this. We have fun over there. We do all kinds of stuff, so consider stopping by and checking it out. But if you guys enjoyed this video, clicking the like button is the best way to help us out. We do really appreciate it. And if you are new, you should consider subscribing because we put out stuff like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay. Anyone make like an official series about this game? What the heck? Okay, you're climbing. Got good music apparently. Who knows? Gotta go. Okay. Victory achieved. Okay. It could be fun. I hear a lot about it. Should I play Dark Souls 1? See any videos? Souls games for beginners?
Hey man, I want to start playing the Soulsborne games, but it all seems kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
Where should I start? Well, the good news is that none of the games are really connected in story, so you can start anywhere. Personally, I think a great starting point for new players would be Dark Souls 3.
Really?
Dark Souls 3?
Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is the definitive Souls experience.
Yeah.
From there, you can move on to Elden Ring, which is an expansive open world Souls game.
Wow. Okay. Then what do I play after that?
Well, if you have a PS4 or PS5, I recommend playing Bloodborne next. Just a warning though, the gameplay will feel a little different than what you're used to. A lot of fans consider Bloodborne the best Souls game of all time.
I've seen this guy a lot.
Really? Bloodborne is the best?
Yes, but it's debatable if it has the best gameplay. The Souls game with the best gameplay, in my opinion, goes to Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Well, what's your favorite?
Well, I love all of them, but if I had a personal favorite, probably be Dark Souls 3.
Hey man, I want to start playing the
that's cool.
Soulsborne games, but it all seems kind of overwhelming. Where should I start?
Well,
I've seen that guy a lot. He has a good format. Dark Souls Remaster is trash. It's trash. He says. Someone says it's trash. I can't move. I can't move. Oh, no, that's a different title. Should I play Dark Souls Remasters? What makes Dark Souls 1 so much and why you should play? Okay. This is by Quibus. Quibus.
This game
Wait,
is a
I'm sorry.
masterpiece,
I'm sorry.
and I know, really hot take.
I'm sorry, Quibus. Did you make an hour and a half video about this? For real, for real, for real? Did you for real do that? I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a couple minutes to sell me on your video.
With that one, and definitely not something a million people on the internet have said already. There's so many analysis and lore videos about it that still get tons of attention to this day. People have been doing speedruns and insane challenges forever too. So
Dark
what
Souls
is the
without
point
souls.
of this long video from a channel with 0 subscribers? Well, brother, let me
you got
tell you, this
44,000
video found
subs,
you for
man.
a reason. If the title
Congrats.
didn't make it obvious already, my goal is to get you to start a run of Dark Souls 1. Whether it's
Okay.
your first time or it's just been a while, I want to show how fun this game is to actually play yourself. A lot
Alright,
of newer fans
Quibus.
prefer to watch videos on it rather than actually sit down and play it themselves, because it seems too old or clunky compared to FromSoft's newer games. And they would rather just go play Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3 if they want to go deeper in the catalog. And while those games are fantastic in their own right, nobody
Wait,
is
pause
doing
for a
it
second.
like
Let me pause for a second. No one's... Let me see. Does Steam have Dark Souls 3? Should I just skip to that? Dark Souls 3 is $30. Dark Souls 2 is 20. Both Dark Souls 2s are 20. Okay, so both Dark Souls 3s are on there, theoretically.
Dark Souls 1, I promise. So this video is going to be a supercut of my most recent run, and I want to showcase how each build is a totally different experience every time you play. I want it to serve as a good video to get a newer player started, while also enticing the older players to start up a new character and try a build or a weapon that they haven't used before. I've noticed there's like this toxic vibe around some of the Souls.
Pause. Elden Ring community. Can't use summons, can't use armor, can't use shields, can't use spells. Dark Souls 1 community. Hello, my sunshine. Still there?
Souls community nowadays. So I think it's important to show that you do not need to be good to enjoy these games. I'm going to make it a point to show any deaths I have during this run, no matter how embarrassing, because dying is an important part of the process. I've been playing these games casually for over 12 years now, and I still make the dumbest mistakes you can imagine. And that's okay, I still have fun. And if you've ever played a Souls games before, you know that the story is almost completely optional. But I think it adds a lot to the experience, especially in this game. So I'm going to briefly go over the state of things in the world. I don't want to get too in detail, mainly because I want this video to be focused on just the fun of casually playing this game. But if you are interested and feel like I don't go into enough detail, there is no shortage of talent in the Souls community. And the lore content creators have much sexier voices than mine. Also, not to be annoying, but if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.
Yeah.
The streets are saying it really helps the algorithm, and I'm not convinced that this video will even make it to anybody's homepage, so it would mean a lot.
Let's see how many views this video got. Seems a lot. I can't see it. But you got 44,000 subscribers, buddy. So you did it.
So, with that long intro out of the way, let's finally get started. So, before any humans even existed, the world was covered in fog and it was ruled by these everlasting dragons. Until all of a sudden, a fire popped up out of nowhere. This wasn't a normal fire though, and it introduced all these concepts into the world that didn't exist before. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. We then see all these things that look like humans come out of the ground, but we find out that they're called hollows. 3 of these hollows would obtain Lord Souls from this fire, giving them extreme power. The most prominent one of these hollows being Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight.
Hollow Knights.
He would eventually rise up and be the one to lead these hollows. The next one to claim a Lord Soul was Nito, the first of the dead, who has control over corpses, and he allies himself with Gwyn. The third hollow who obtained these souls was called the Witch of Izalith. And like Nito, also worked with Gwyn. up until she tried to recreate the first flame and turned herself into the worst boss of the game, but we'll get
Most
there.
hated boss in the entire
And
series.
finally, the last forgotten hollow who claimed a powerful soul. Our man, the furtive pygmy. And it was none other than the Dark Soul. While the other lords used their souls for power,
Bunch
the
of bad
pygmy
guys.
fragmented their Dark Soul in order to create descendants and humanity itself. These pygmies were able to utilize the dark to create weapons and armor with the intention of one day ushering in their own age of dark. But that part is top secret.
Okay.
Gwyn was able to unite all of these hollows to start war against the immortal dragons to usher in a new age of fire. But the dragons were immortal, so he had to find a
Okay.
solution. And that
Okay.
solution came in the form of another dragon. You see, Seath was a dragon that was born without scales. And
This is like a
scales are
lore
the
video.
source of the dragon's immortality, so you can imagine how this made him feel. It's because of this he eventually grew resentful of all the other dragons and decided to betray them by telling Gwyn that lightning was their weakness.
Okay.
Gwyn ended up using this advantage along with his allies to successfully defeat all the
Oh, man.
dragons and establish himself as ruler of this new age of fire. After his success, though, he ended up betraying the humans. He was really afraid of the Dark Soul and the potential threat of the abyss that the humans were utilizing. Which, you know, we'll see later was
Interesting.
kind of a valid concern for Gwyn, so pretty based of him. He cursed the humans with the Dark Sun, which
Let's skip some lore.
in Blight Town.
My gosh.
So with our reason I had to do all of that so early, are so much fun because it's a new experience each time you play depending on your build.
Okay.
And speaking of builds, it's a really good idea to figure out what you want to do kind of early, or at least have a general idea. Unlike the modern FromSoft games, there isn't a way to respec your character in this game, so you need to make sure you allocate your points kind of carefully. For my build, I
Okay.
decided to use the Great Scythe, which is definitely one of the strongest dex weapons in the game, and I haven't used it in like 10 years, so I feel like
Skinny.
doing a Reaper run. Sadly, we're going to have to sneak into a later game area to pick it up, but it'll be well worth the trouble, trust me.
Time to get our weapon
So
early.
we start our run to the catacombs behind Firelink before bumping into another super strong weapon in front of a giant grave, the Zweihander. This bad boy is one of the best strength weapons up until the very end of the game, so if you're a strength build, I would look no further. Unfortunately for us though, we still have a ways to go to get our goodies. So we make our way down the stairs and completely forget about the giant pit to the left because I haven't played this game in like 2 years. First death of the run though. So we finally make our dumbass back and we veer to the left.
I'm gonna just
So
check
yeah,
out a
he's
little
the
bit.
best. We say our goodbyes for now and
How
continue
long
on
do
the
you
break.
stay naked in this game?
How well thought out the
There you
level
go.
design of Dark Souls really is. We took an entire detour from Firelink through Undead Burg guy, because this
What is this
video
game?
we always learn from our mistakes. But you get, fortunately,
know
it's
what?
time for an
I'll think about it later. Thanks, cool engineer. Think about it later.